Western Water Sports crew, ahoy! How's everybody doing? DJ Shack, ahoy mate. Jarius Henry, ahoy. First meeting, ahoy mate. John Michael, nice pizza and Western Water Sports. Very nice. Welcome along. Apologies for my lateness. I've been scrambling to get all this ready. Oh, Chris Bradley, ahoy mate. Yes, indeed. In the world of, well, not the Western World of Sports, but in the world of Dan, I'm actually relaunching officially my gaming channel this evening. So I've been frantically trying to get that ready and get this ready at the same time. So I've had a fair bit going on. I just recorded a new intro for the channel last night, so I was up pretty late, unexpectedly. It was all a snap decision. I went, you know what? I really, really feel like starting my gaming channel again this weekend. I've been missing it. I've had a couple of years off. Let's go live and see if anybody remembers me. So I'll be doing that later tonight after all the footy. For those interested, do feel free to check that out on YouTube and on Twitch. It is called Intoxi Gamer. So that's what I'll be up to later on this evening. And that's why I'm so late. So late, as a matter of fact, I haven't even had a chance to get a same-game multi on in this game. And I very much... Well, they are still doing, like, the Indigenous round pre-game stuff, so maybe I would have time to slap one on, but I probably don't. Probably don't have time. We might just have to sit this one out in terms of a same-game multi. But I can tell you who I would have had. I would have had Cody Nikorima. I was always going to be picking Cody Nikorima. Anytime, same game multi. Let's see. I might be able to sneak one in here. Okay. If I go quickly, Nwanga Tuase, I think, is due. Billy Smith. The Hammer, and I wanted to pick Cody Nikorima, but I can't find him in there. Oh, there he is. Okay, and Cody Nikorima. I got it in just in the nick of time. There we go. Okay, Nwanga Tuase, Billy Smith, The Hammer, and Cody Nikorima. I'll see if I get a chance to put the graphics up at any point throughout the course of the half. Knee crumbler, ahoy, mates. So, yes, hence my lateness and missing the last game completely. But for Cronulla Sharks fans, it was a great game to miss. Setting up my gaming channel, which will be relaunching officially later this evening. So, if you're into video gaming and you'd like to hang out after the games tonight for some more, hopefully, entertainment, do feel free. Underway, and it is the Roosters with the kickoff. Dolphins with first use of it. I'm going to start with Dino Crisis, Knee Crumbler. I'm going to keep things kind of retro. And Dino Crisis was one of my favorite games growing up. I would love to play it again. Dolphins with first use of the ball here inside their own red zone. The old Panther says Spencer Leniu to hurt someone's feelings. Is that a good bet? I reckon that's a pretty good bet. Big Spencer loves to get under the skin of the opposition. Fifth and last here for the Dolphins. Inside their own 40. Back to Katoa to clear. Tupou almost makes a mess of it, but he gets himself under it. And here come the Roosters now. All right. Let's fix my scoreboard up and everything, because as I said, kind of rushed everything together here today. to get ready for this one. There we go. That's looking much better. Sammy Salsa, ahoy, mate. Yes, I heard that the Sharks were quite insipid today. Fifth and last. Sammy Walker puts this one high. Contestable kick, an early one here for the Hammer. Tedesco wins the battle in the air, bats it back for Collins. Walker keeps it alive down the left edge. Crichton to Walker on the wraparound, can't get the toe through, and the Hammer cleans up the mess that, well, he kind of started by getting out jumped by James Tedesco. Dolphins survive an early scare. Emmanuel Vincent, ahoy, mate. You got your payday thanks to the Dragons. Nice. How's everybody feeling about, obviously, this game? Dolphins and Roosters has a lot of ramifications for the top 8 and finals time, but how's everybody feeling about the Warriors-Bulldogs game? Especially if it is indeed raining. The kick goes down to Tupou. Links up with Tedesco. Tedesco throws the dummy, puts the fend on. Now he straightens, but he can't get on the outside of the defense. I have gone for the Roosters in this one. Oh, big hit there from Francis Molo, charging up out of the line. And perhaps he charged up just a little too quickly. Francis Molo was doing nothing there but making a hit. Mark Nwangani Tawase on the wrong end of that one. Dogs should beat the Warriors by 69. Jeez. The Dogs have proven to be not so good in the wet. I got a feeling they've been practicing, though, you would hope. As the Roosters find touch, 40 metres out. And go on the attack, Naufahu White takes it to the red zone, right on the brink of the 20-metre line. Roosters slow play the ball. Walker heads left for Angus Crichton. Gets the bumpers up and stands in a 3-man tackle. Big Angus. Big Angus. Sounds like a burger. Down the short side, Walker to Tedesco. Bats it on for Tupou. Fires it back in field. And Teddy loses a lot of ground. A chance there for the Roosters, though. Dummy in and going down the short side. From dummy half, almost catching them napping. Fifth and last here for the Roosters. Walker just feeds it along to Savala. Great kick this one. Nwangani Tawase wins the jump and scores the try. Nwangani Tawase with the first point and the first tick off our multi. Our multi that we just got on with seconds to spare before kickoff. And we've started with a tick. Savala with the kick. Pinpoint accurate. And Nwangani Tawase up there, Gazali. Aussie rules style, that was. I'll tell you what, he's come from rugby union. He was a superstar there. He's proving to be a superstar in the NRL. And based on a jump like that, could very well do well for himself in the Aussie rules as well. Try confirmed, and the Roosters are up 4-0 early. Wheat Tamati, ahoy mate. Dolphins will prevail by 12 points is the prediction. First meeting says Warriors to get the Dogs. Dogs are running out of puff. So yes, looking forward to that one coming up after this. More ramifications for the top 8 as Sam Walker lines up this conversion. we can probably flick over to the try scoring sheet now. There we go. Mark Nawangani-Tuase, first try scorer. Walker moves in, strikes it well, puts it down the middle, and the Roosters are up 6 points to 0. And we've got to tick off the multi, thanks to Mark Nawangani-Tuase. A great start for all in this one. And I also tipped the Roosters, of course. Tipped the Roosters for this one. Oh, cheers, Nick Rumbler, for the kind words. But it's probably my strong ties to New Zealand that makes it easier to say, right? Nawangani-Tuase, the try scorer, brings it with a strong carry outside the 20. Post-contact meters out the wazoo. Siu Wong up to the 30. So they're full of running now, the Roosters. Full of confidence. DD, ahoy there, mates. I've gone for the Roosters in this one. But as I don't have anything against either side, just hoping for a good game as the kick from inside the 40 from dummy half sits up at the back. And the hammer returns it to the edge of the 20. What, Michelle, you didn't go for the Roosters? I'm surprised by that. I actually contemplated picking the Dolphins because I thought for sure Michelle's gone for the Roosters. Try and jag one back. Up to halfway now, the Dolphins. Short side for Katoa. Puts this one up in the air. Tupou tracking back. And Tupou will return it to the 20. Mookie, ahoy, mate. Down the short side, Walker catches some lazy markers. Fiane having to retreat. Nice heads-up play there from Sammy Walker. High contact now on Billy Smith, and this will be a penalty. No, it won't be. Oh, tempers are flaring. And here's Spencer Leniu. Spencer comes in from the back to get involved. Well, we talked about it in the chat room. There were some wagers being thrown around in the chat room about Spencer's involvement. And when tensions were boiling over, he wasn't going to miss out. So the penalty was finally awarded for the high contact. And a little bit of a talking to from the referee to both captains here. And yes, clear high contact, it must be said. Kurt Donahue dropping the shoulder in there, right to the face of Billy Smith. And the Roosters, they were not interested in playing on at that point. Now there's some feeling in this game for sure. And here's Spencer. Spencer Leniu takes the hit up off the back of that penalty. Now, how has Donahue stayed on the field there? Shoulder contact, direct to the face. Just a penalty. Inconsistencies abound, but then we're used to that, aren't we? The only thing that's consistent is the inconsistencies of the calls. How about that? Lindsay Collins. 25 out, just to the right of the post. They stay right. Savala out the back to Tedesco. Nice double pump there for Toya. Toya on to Nawangani-Tuase, and he scores a double. Nawangani-Tuase out wide. Roosters up 10 points to 0. Kick to come. 2 for Nawangani-Tuase. What a start for the Roosters. Well, they're fired up after that high contact. And now it's push and shove in the in-goal area. Oh, there's a lot of feeling in this one. The players have just swarmed from everywhere. Oh, this one is only 9 minutes old and we're already seeing 2 blow-ups. We're going to see a lot more in this one. Tamati says the Dragons win over the Sharks has given the bottom top 8 a huge favor. Yes. Now, I just wonder if there's been an escalation after the try has been scored. What happens here? Is there a possibility that this try gets overturned? They've got to control their tempers out here, all the players. Tensions are boiling over. And I've got no idea what's actually sparked this one. The Roosters are just celebrating their try. Oh, Spencer! Spencer started shaping up. Spencer Leniu has really got to take control of his emotions here. Well, we spoke about it in the pregame. Yep, Spencer's having a rest. And so too, one of the Dolphins. And that is the easiest way to just tone things down here, is have them have a little sit on the sideline. Spencer Leniu, 10 in the bin. And Naufahu White, 10 in the bin. And now, Francis Molo for 10 in the bin. So we've seen 2 Roosters and 2 Dolphins. Orblex Torwa, 10 in the bin, and Francis Molo, 10 in the bin. We have just seen 4 players sin binned in the opening 10 minutes of this game. The referee had to talk to them about the blow-up earlier and said, look, this is not going to happen. It happened, and he went, nope, I'm in control there. It's actually great control by the referee. I'm not standing for any of this. You can all go have a sit down and have a think about what you've done, you naughty boys. Wow. 10 minutes gone, 4 sin bins. That is going to add a lot of spice for the rest of this game. Jarius Henry, ahoy, mates. Bow down, ahoy. Absolutely fair enough. I agree, DJ Shaq. The referee took control of the game and said, look, this is not going to happen. He's now laid down the foundation. Sam Walker from out wide converts. And it is 12-0 in favor of the Rooster. 2 tries for Nwanganitawase. 11 minutes gone, 4 in the sin bin. 12-0. Chris Bradley says the first time. I agree with the ref. Yeah. Well, it's quite simple, really. If he gave them another warning at this point, it would have just sparked up again. Now he has set the foundations for what he expects in this game. And if it happens again, he'll send more off. Oh, huge contact from the kickoff by Donahue. Now, Donahue's in a bit of trouble here because he's already been pinged for a high shot. He's gone in here and absolutely KO'd Sia Wong. Let's have a look and see if this hit was legitimate or not. If he's made any contact at all, he'll be done, I reckon. This could be Kurt Donahue's night. Tensions had just boiled over, 4 in the bin, and now Donahue's done this. And this will be a straight send-off if he's done it. Well, it looks like it might just be a head clash. Let's have a look on the slow-mo. Well, it looks like he's chest bumped him into the face. So let's have a look. Okay. It's shoulder on shoulder. I actually don't think there's a problem here. From that angle that I saw, there isn't actually any contact. Wong has knocked himself out, landing face first into the turf. Seo Wong's dropped the ball. He's knocked himself out by landing face first into the turf. Tedesco's claiming a shoulder charge, but it wasn't. He was too front on for it to be a traditional shoulder charge. I've got to say, it obviously looks nasty when the player's knocked out like that, but there was actually nothing wrong with that. DJ Shack says, well, this is as crazy a start to a game of rugby league or union that I've ever seen, and I would have to agree with that. And Lord knows, DJ Shack, we have seen a lot. It looked absolutely nasty in real time. It looked worse because Wong was KO'd on the ground. There was absolutely nothing wrong. That is just a good, clean hit from Kurt Donahue, forcing the error. And Wong knocked himself out by landing on the ground face first, and off he goes for a HIA. Scrum down here and a chance for the Dolphins to hit back. Katoa leaves the ball behind. Now he collects it. Nikorima drops it off inside. 10 meters out here, the Dolphins lined up to the left. Marshall King, though, with the inside ball. Back for Finefeuiaki. A couple of meters short. Donahue onto Katoa. Nikorima goes out the back for the hammer. They've got a 3-on-2, but stepping back in field is Avarillo for Katoa to take on Sam Walker 1-on-1. Needs a runner back on the inside. He's got Donahue, and Donahue's wrapped up. Taken to ground by Victor the Inflictor. I'm still not used to Victor in headgear. Through the hands, left again. Cut out pass here for Naufahu. And Naufahu scores. Dolphins hit straight back. Tevita Naufahu. Oh, and they're pumped up about it. 12 points to 4 with the kick to come. And there's plenty of space out there with 4 in the bin, 2 from each side. For those that might have missed it. What a finish there from the Dolphins center. Ball in one hand. His entire body is over the sideline. And he plants it down just in the field of play. Or just in the in-goal. Don't want to be planting it down in the field of play. Try confirmed. And it was Nwangani Tawase. They're about 10 meters in field, which left even more space. DJ Shack says had to score there. There's going to be plenty of space for both teams with this period of 11 versus 11. Crucial hit back for the Dolphins. Waitamati says it was always going to be fiery game as they are sitting 8 and 9 respectively, and possibly more sin bins to add to the 4 already. Well, the standard was set in the opening 10 minutes, wasn't it? So I would be very surprised if there's not more sin bins. Rodney Rappa, ahoy mates, go the mighty Roosters. Darius Henry's got Nwangani Tawase, the Hammer, Tupou, or Jake Avarillo. Nice, yeah. So I ended up going, and I don't have it on screen yet, as Asako lines this one up from the sideline. I ended up going Nwangani Tawase, Billy Smith, the Hammer, and Cody Nikorima. As Asako hangs it out to the right, but it's curling back in, and curls back in through the middle. 12 points to 6. An important hit back there. And somebody's on report here for the Roosters. Robert Toya on report. Reports, penalties, sin bins everywhere. So, yes, Witamati has just raised in the chat room there. This is obviously a big game. Both teams with finals prospects. 2 points would become critical for each of them as this kickoff goes out on the fall. Oh, the momentum has completely swung in this game. The Roosters put the kickoff out on the fall over the dead ball line. It sails. And it has gone by a long way. About 5 meters over the dead ball line. Leniu with 6 minutes left in the sin bin. Well, that'd be the same for all of them. 6 minutes left. Can the Dolphins take advantage of all this extra space? They've had a majority of the possession in this sin bin period. Donahue has definitely been targeted by Victor Radley. He's lost his head here, and Donahue wants to go on with it here. Down the short side, the Dolphins. Inside the 20 they go. Asako. Loose, play the ball, and it's a penalty to the Dolphins. The momentum has completely swung to the home side here. Sia Wong has been ruled out with failing his HIA. So the Roosters, that's early to be down a forward. Katoa goes out the back for Nikorima, wrapped up there by the defense. Collins flying up on him. 10 meters out. Katoa onto Donahue. Still hasn't collected his head yet. The hammer dummies and steps off the right foot. He's a meter short. Hammer's nearly pulled off a miracle solo effort. Marshall King fires it out now to Donahue again. Lined up to the left here, the Dolphins. Nikorima, the big Harbour Bridge ball out to Naufahu. Tackled just inside the touchline. Still 10 meters out. Going from edge to edge here, the Dolphins. Donahue straightens. Fifth and last. Innocent Anglerfish, ahoy mate. Katoa takes it to the line. Out the back to the hammer. Hammer onto, taken over the sideline. Good defense there from the Roosters. The Dolphins not really setting anything up for themselves there. They just went edge to edge. And that's pretty easy to defend. Wilson Matthews says, go Roosters. Since the sin bins, the Dolphins have had 97% possession. Wow. Well, here's a chance for the Roosters. This is really their first opportunity with all those players sent off. Tedesco takes them on up the middle. Patrick, ahoy, mate. Try scorer for the Dolphins. Penalty now to the Roosters. Who's trying to call me? Penalty for the Roosters. Finding touch, 40 out from the Dolphins line. Here they come now. Victor Radley goes up the middle. Sam Walker holds the pass up nicely. Nwanga Nitawase with the double pump. Billy Smith takes it inside the 40. Walker switches direction. Ends up holding onto the ball now. Pops it out the back for Radley. Fifth and last now. 10 meters out. Down the short side, Walker steps off the left. Grubbers in behind, looking to hit the post. It sits up in the end goal. And Finefeuiaki will ground it. Goal line restart now for the Dolphins. Katoa puts it short, but not short enough. Nwanga Nitawase takes it with ease. A minute and a half left of the sin bin period. Can the Roosters strike? Robert Toya takes it inside the 10. Turned on his back, so he can't get a quick play the ball away. Here's Radley. Goes out the back for Savala. Walker through the hands. Left they go. Smith, dummies, steps back in field and scores. Billy Smith steps off the left boot, and it's tick number 2 of the multi. 21 minutes to play, and we're halfway there. 21 in the opening half, that is. Nwanga Nitawase, Billy Smith, 2 ticks off the multi. I just need the hammer and Nikorima now. The hammer and Nikorima. What a fantastic start this has been for the same game multi. Billy Smith stepping off the left. All the Dolphins defenders overrun as they're sliding across. Fantastic work. And Donahue is public enemy number 1 here with the Roosters players. Matty says the Roosters in the finals would create some drama for the other teams. As Spencer and Naufahu White back onto the field, the crowd boos. Francis Molo back as well for the Dolphins. From right beside the post, Sam Walker, simple conversion. 18 points to 6, they're up. A quarter of the way through this contest, and we are 2 ticks through the multi. Very nice. I really got to try and get that up on the screen. You watch, as soon as I get this active on the screen, nobody else will score a try. You know that will happen. Back underway. Now Spencer's going to take the first hit up, and he charges into them. He is swung down by Avarillo. Oh, there's a scrappy play the ball. Lucky to get away with that one. But Spencer Leniu was always going to be taking that first hit up. And now White with a carry outside the 30. Oh, the feeling in this one. Have we just seen the formation of a long-standing grudge match? Dolphins versus Roosters. Have they just become mortal enemies in the opening 20 minutes of this game? 5th and last. Walker spills it. Can't get the kick away, but it's a penalty to the Roosters. Isaiah Katoa crowding the play the ball area. Not clearing the ruck, and it's a 10-metre penalty. I wonder if he was marched 10 there for back chat. Sam Walker dropped the ball cold either way. JC Smoke says someone going to explain how there was 4 sin bins at once. Yes, well, simply the referee just had enough. As White takes the carry inside the red zone. Tackle 1 here for the Roosters. 20 out. Spencer Leniu fires up. Takes it inside the 10 on play 2. Just to the left of the post they are. They go right for Walker. Savala now straightens. Tackle 3. Roosters building. Lined up to the left. Collins goes out the back for White. Now Walker grubbers in behind. Needs this to sit up for Angus. But the hammer bats it over the dead ball line. Goal line dropout incoming. Wanganitawase. Titus Kuno, ahoy mate, you're going 1-12. Dolphins to win over the Roosters. It's going to be a very close game, I do believe. Katoa goes short again. No Wanganitawase spills it forward and Nikorima dives on it. The Dolphins have secured possession. Claims that the referee has missed something there. Well, I've got to say, I missed it too. Let's have a look at the replay. Okay. An escort. Well, they got the ball anyway, so play on. They got the ball. They got a 7-tackle set. Happy to just play this one on. Unless the Dolphins come up with an error here. No, they've still got it. Nikorima heads across field. Links up with Katoa. The hammer lurking out the back. Bumps off Billy Smith. And now they do get their penalty. Inside the 10 metres there, the Roosters. 16 and a half to go till the break. Dolphins finding touch on the halfway line. We are halfway through our same game multi as well. Wanganitawase and Smith. We got both the Roosters try scorers. Now I just need the hammer and Nikorima. On halfway, the Dolphins. Marshall King attacks from dummy half. They'll have a chance at the end of this set. Toha. 30 metres out, they are the Dolphins. Inside ball for Donahue. Donahue still hasn't put his headgear on after he lost it. Inside ball and taken down. 5 metres out. Over to the left they go. Donahue onto Katoa. Looks to grub her in behind the line, but the Roosters trap it with their boot. Victor Radley dives on it, and it's been called an accidental offside. Accidental offside. And a scrum down here for the Dolphins. "15 minutes to play in this opening half. 12 points the difference. And we saw the Dolphins score pretty easily from a similar situation. Mind you, it was 11 on 11 at the time, so there'll be a little less space this time to work with. Marshall King sends it left for the hammer. Hammer one-on-one with Savala. Savala brings him down, which is unfortunate for my multi. Marshall King from dummy half. Thought he spotted a gap. 6 again. Donahue at first receiver onto Katoa. Katoa to Nikorima. Quick hands for Asako. Asako goes in and away. They show him the sideline, and Sammy Walker tackles him into touch. Goal line defense by the Roosters there. Immaculate. "14 minutes until the break. And that was a real chance gone begging there for the Dolphins. The home, the home crowd boos. Wanganitawase gets the penalty here inside the 10. The Dolphins. A nice little piggyback upfield here for the Rooster. Zavala with the touch finder. Just short of halfway. Toya taps it. Radley's the decoy. They go out the back. Taken to ground. Egan Butcher, who's on the field now. Walker onto Lenu. Through the hands. Tedesco. Smith onto Tupou in space. Tupou with the hammer to beat. Cuts back in field. And Hammer with the support of Donahue from behind brings him down. And they've played the ball to nobody. And the Dolphins have it. Oh, no, Roosters have still got it. Roosters ball, screams the referee. Through the hands right. Toya steps off the right boot, puts the fend out with the left arm. 10 metres out. Walker to White, angling back in towards the play the ball area. Fifth and last. Crash ball for Victor Radley, and Radley bursts over. It looked for all money like they were going to go right. But they went short. Victor Radley on the crash ball. The Roosters dominating. 22 points to 6. A kick to come, and it should be a simple one for Sammy Walker. What a first half this has been from the Roosters. Coming to Suncorp, where we know the Dolphins go well. But the Roosters playing for their season, and there's opportunities abound. The Sharks losing, the Broncos losing. Manly losing. There's opportunities to leapfrog everywhere. (22-6) kick to come. 11 minutes to go until the halftime break. Still only 2 ticks through my multi, but that's okay. 2 ticks at halftime is usually a pretty solid position. I wonder what they're offering me in terms of the cash out. I usually get pretty terrible cash out offers. Yes, okay. So they've offered me $8.45 cash out, which is just insulting. Insolence is what it is. I still think it's because they realized that I bet so much. Sam Walker from about 10 to the right of the post. Should be a relatively simple one. He pops this one over, and the Roosters are up 24 points to 6. Ten minutes until the halftime break. And it'll be interesting to see what some of these halftime chats are. I wonder if we'll ever get to the situation. I don't know how many people in the chat room watch netball. But in the netball, and it probably happens in the basketball as well, but because they stay on the court in between the quarters, they only go off the court at halftime. The camera actually goes into the huddle, and you can actually hear what the coaches are talking about. I wonder at what point we will actually get microphones in the changing room to hear the halftime talks. It seems like a thing that might never happen, but with broadcasting rights the way that they are, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens at some stage. Sevens Rugby also does that. There you go. Good call, JC Smoke. Down the short side go the Roosters. Tedesco in half a gap. Takes it up over halfway on play 4. Here they come again, the Roosters. Walker heads across to the right edge. Goes out the back for Toya. Toya, flick pass is forward. And that'll be a handover here for the Dolphins. Knee Crumbler says, I hope they get some cameras inside the cheerleaders. You know what? The cheerleaders actually used to get so much more coverage back in the day, but apparently it's like sexist or something. Put too much attention on the cheerleaders in 2025. But yes, it used to be a very big thing. They even used to have, I remember, in the old rugby league magazines, you used to get the Big League magazine, a physical magazine every week, and there would be like a a centerfold. There would be a poster that you could rip out and put on your wall of a cheerleader of the week. That's how much attention the cheerleaders used to get. But yeah, you don't even necessarily know unless you go to the game on game day. You don't even know that the cheerleaders exist anymore. 8.5 minutes to go in this opening half. Fifth and last, 30 out. Katoa puts this one up. Contestable kick. Pressure on Marky Mark at the back. It's tapped back by the Dolphins, and Tedesco races away with it. Slow play the ball as Teddy's put on his back. Oh, the knee crumbler. If you're still there in 8 minutes at halftime, I have got something to show you, my friend. Sing out, knee crumbler, if you're still there at halftime, and remind me of this conversation. Tackle 4 here for the Roosters. Just into Dolphins territory they go again. Butcher steps off the right foot. Takes it inside the 40. Fifth and last. Down the short side for Walker. Puts this one high. A contestable bomb. Pressure on the hammer at the back, who does extremely well. The hammer takes it just a couple of meters out from their own line, though, the Dolphins. Under the pump. Nikorima, one-on-one with Nwanga Nitawase. Flick pass is a mile forward from Nikorima. And the Roosters will get a chance to attack again. 15 meters out from the line. A mile forward, that flick pass back to Lemuelu. Crazy stuff. Nikorima had Avarillo on his outside, decided to keep hold of the ball. Walker off the back of the scrum. Taken down aggressively. There's still a lot of feeling out there, but it has eased up a little bit. Butcher to the 20. Spencer Leniu. Bumps off one, bumps off another. Gets away from Marshall King. Good strong carry from Spencer. They're inside the 20. Savala out the back to Walker. Lined up to the left here. Tedesco holds the pass up nicely for Smith. Smith looks to flick on to Tupou. It'll be 6 more tackles now as the Dolphins bat it down. Tedesco back into midfield. Wraps around with White. White offloads to Teddy. Flick pass back for Savala. And Savala dives under the posts. Has he got it to ground? The Dolphins race in from everywhere to try and hold him up. Savala scores. The Roosters keep the ball alive. And they're in again by the looks of it. Hugo Savala. Oh, it's turning into a massacre out there. 28-6 kick to come. The Roosters, they go left all the way to the edge. Smith to Tupou. The ball's batted down by the Dolphins. They give up the 6 again. Tedesco heads into midfield. Wraps around with White. Keeps the ball alive. And the Dolphins just run out of numbers. Well, has he got it down? Oh, hasn't touched the sideline even. Tedesco stays in the field of play. Has the ball just brushed the white line? There'll be a couple of things to look at here. The try's been awarded. I think the bunker will intervene and have a look at a couple of things here. Has Savala got the ball down? You would have to think so. This might be the angle. This could be the angle. No, Nikorima's in the way. Well, it's gone up as a try. There has to be conclusive evidence to overturn. I can't see anything in there that suggests he hasn't scored. And ultimately, that will be the key here. That can't really be overturned. Try for Hugo Savala. Try is confirmed. The home crowd doesn't like it, but it went up as a try. What can you do? Sam Walker from right in front. Over it goes. And it is the Roosters leading 30 points to 6. Crazy. The Kings gaming. Ahoy, mate. Excuse me. Yep, it's over. We're done. I don't see how we're going to come back from like 24 leads. Have faith. Kings gaming. And speaking of gaming, I'm pleased to announce that tonight, after the footy, I'll be relaunching my gaming channel, Intoxigamer. So if you're into like retro, old school gaming that's not serious, it's just like this. Just a little bit of fun, a little bit of banter. Do feel free to check that out later tonight. Intoxigamer is what to search for on YouTube. I'll post it in the chat. All right, so 3 minutes to go until the halftime break. Roosters well and truly in control of this one. I am also halfway through my same game multi as Savala steps outside the 40, puts the big boot downfield. Hammer backs up and takes it on the 10. And he's got a Sarko to run it back for him. Safe to say, the Dolphins absolutely have to be the next team to score. That, needless to say. If they get the next try, 30 points to 12 is not insurmountable. It's going to be tough. But we've seen games of two halves before. And, well, that's not going to help. The Dolphins drop the ball cold. And the Roosters are going to have another shot here before the halftime break. So maybe all what's ifs and maybes go out the window if they get another try here, the Roosters. Frustration for the Dolphins. Incredible. The scrum will go down. Nwanga Nitawase with the feed. They go down the short side. And Connor Watson, dummies. 2 minutes left until the break. A break that can't come quick enough for the Dolphins. I'm sure the Roosters would love to just stay out there. 20 out from the line. Walker wants it on the left. Back inside for Lenu. Lenu breaks straight through. Spencer Lenu with the fend on the hammer. And Spencer scores and silences the crowd. Spencer Lenu bursts through three defenders. Jonah Loma Rugby, PS1 style. Boof, boof, boof. Try beside the posts. And then he redoes his hair for some reason. Because I guess it got messed up in all that fending. Walker with the inside ball, drops it back to Spencer. Boom, breaks through one tackle, breaks through a second, puts the big right arm out on the hammer. 34-6, kick to come. Well, any thoughts of a comeback for the Dolphins just got so much more difficult because they've just leaked 6 more points. $36 points to 6 with the kick to come. Well, 34-6 with the kick to come. What can you talk about at halftime if you're the Dolphins coach? I mean, they had moments, I suppose. There's moments that you could focus on. Unfortunately, all those moments sort of happened when it was 11 on 11, right? Walker from just beside the post. Over it goes, and it's 36 points to 6. This has been unbelievable. Well, at least, like, having tipped the Roosters, and still needing a couple of Dolphins for my same game multi, at least I'm in a position where I could win both. If the Dolphins have a big second half, they could get a few tries, hit my try scorers for me, and still lose the game ultimately, so I get my tip as well. That'd be a good night for me. Halftime siren sounds. It's 36 points to 6. What a performance in this opening 40 by the Roosters. I mean, look, I'm not willing to write off anything just yet. We have seen so many times throughout the course of the year remarkable comebacks against all odds. No question, though, this would be the biggest one. All right, so I've now got my graphics ready for this one. I was a little bit late, of course, little bit late to the party. But we can get them on the screen now, and we can go. Oh, why didn't it? Oh, I know why it didn't update. Okay. I know why it didn't update. I put it in the wrong one. Not the first time I've ever said that. Okay. There we go. All right. There we go. We got it sorted. All right. So we can put a tick for Nwanga Nitawase, and we can put a tick for Billy Smith. Halftime, I just need the hammer and Nicarima in this second half, and then we'll be laughing. All right. You were asking me, Knee Crumbler, about the magazines. All right. Let's see if I can find this quickly and easily. I'll be right back. I'm going to have a quick break anyway, and then we'll be right back here. Wasted World of Sports. Roosters dominating the Dolphins here. Second half to come. All right, halftime here, 36 points to 6. Knee Crumbler, are you there, mate? I'll make sure you're there before I show these. What a performance from the Roosters. Oh, yep, Knee Crumbler's there. So you were asking me about, did I read the magazines back in the day. Boy, have I got something to show you. Check this out. Preserved in a folder. Magazines. All nicely preserved. And I've got like 2 or 3 folders of these kept away. The old WWF and Raw magazines. So hopefully that answers your question as to whether or not I used to read them. Didn't just read them, collected them. So 36 points to 6. I've now got my multi on the screen. Robert M says, would one be the 2008 WrestleMania magazine? No, I had stopped by that point, Robert M. Yeah, I pretty much stopped collecting after high school. So my last magazines would have been 1999, early 2000s. Maddie asks, favorite wrestler of all time. Okay, awful lot of wrestling questions coming in now, thick and fast, that I've shown that off. Just so that everybody's aware, if you are into wrestling, we do a fortnightly podcast, and it's actually coming up this Monday. So this coming Monday at 6:30 p.m. Australian time, and we do it every fortnight, not another bloody wrestling show. So every fortnight we touch on all things happening in the pro wrestling world. We also do the occasional live stream, the watch-alongs. But it's our fortnightly show that we are looking to up the content for, because I think it's obviously got crossover appeal. Crossover appeal there between them. So Robert M says, so correct me if Nicarima scores, you get money back, or does it have to be the hammer? Either one, yeah. Either one. Got same game multi-protection, so 3 of the 4 legs hit, cash back. Knee Crumbler says, did you like WCW or WWF more? Mate, I had my favorites in both. I had my favorites in both of them, but I was a WWF boy. Hands down. If it came down to a choice between the two, I watched both, I collected both, I supported both. But if it came down to a clash and I had to pick one or the other, I would always watch Raw live and tape Nitro. I'd watch the WWF first and then go on to the WCW show. Who is a good multi in the Dogs Warriors? I am holding off anything on that game until I see for sure what the weather is like. I haven't even put a tip in yet. Jim Condon, ahoy, mates. Yeah, I haven't even put a tip in yet on that game. I want to see what the weather is like. Because if it is any sort of heavy rain, I think the Warriors are a red-hot chance against a Dogs team that have proven to be quite flaky in the wet. Surely they realize this, and surely they've been practicing. Junior Mamu says, sad for the Dolphins. Yes, I was expecting a better game than this, to be honest. First meeting says The Undertaker was mad. Yes, I went and saw The Undertaker in his one-man show when he toured Australia. That was pretty cool. It was pretty cool just to be in his presence and hear his war stories. E.B. Williams, ahoy, mate. Actually, surely he's in one of these. Well, I actually put them on the cover. Yeah. Undertaker and Kane. They were my boys back in the day. And, of course, the WrestleMania 13 magazine, still preserved, where Undertaker won the belt. So, yes, every fortnight, 6:30 p.m. on Mondays. Not another bloody wrestling show. The Knee Crumbler, you met The Undertaker, hung out with him at Singapore Airport in between flights about 15 years ago. That's cool. Harp Fit, ahoy, mate. Rey Mysterio for athleticism, Shawn Michaels for technique, Ultimate Warrior for energy. Yeah, I was a Warrior fan. Little Dan was a Warrior fan. E.B. Williams says, didn't know Kurt Donahue had that much mongrel in him. Yeah, actually, that's a fair point, E.B. Williams. That's a fair point. I mean, obviously, if Tom Flegler wasn't injured, you would think Tom Flegler, but he's out, of course. I realize that. But yeah, I agree. Kurt Donahue has certainly been fired up tonight, maybe a little too much so. But that was a good hit. I'm so glad that didn't end up in a penalty against him, because that was just such a good, clean hit that he put on Wong. It would have been devastating if that ended up as a penalty. Tom Flegler is due back next year, yeah. Yeah, where do you start him? E.B. Williams says, do you think Montez Ford has a top 3 frog splash? Oh, I've got to be brutally honest when I say I haven't paid that much attention to Montez. Yeah, I haven't paid that much attention lately. That's why we've got Jace. That's why we've got Jace here to do the wrestling to lead the wrestling show, because he pays a lot more attention than I do still. I'm still a fan. I still consider myself a fan. I still enjoy it when I do get the time to watch it for the most part. But I'm definitely more into the old school stuff. I could sit down, I reckon, and watch the old Attitude Era stuff just on repeat and not get bored, even though I've seen it 100 times before. Joshua Stewart, you just started to watch. You're shocked by the score. Yeah, in fairness, so am I. I thought that the Roosters would win, but I thought this would be a really close game. Robert M says Bronx Dolphins is going to be good next week. No Reno, Cobbo, Mam. Yeah. I think the Broncos will be okay, especially if the Dolphins put up a performance like this, right? I mean, the Roosters have been good. In fairness, Roosters have been really good. But, I mean, how much of this is the Roosters just being exceptionally good, and how much of it is the Dolphins, apart from that 10-minute period where it was 11 on 11, Dolphins have just been dire. Okay, so we have also got coming up pretty much immediately following this one. There might be a couple of minutes space in between, so I've got to make sure we're ready for the next one when 7:35 Bulldogs Warriors. Okay, so it goes into it pretty quickly. I've got to make sure we're ready for this one. Where is my... There it is, thumbnail. Okay, I'll get... As the teams get ready to come out for the second half, let's try and get this next stream ready as well. The Bulldogs versus the Warriors. I am holding off everything on that one. Same game multi, tip, everything. I'm waiting to see what the weather is like. I don't want to make any assumptions on that one until I see the weather, because that will change the way I think about it. Teams are out for the second half. Can the Dolphins mount some sort of fight back here? The Dolphins get us back underway. It will be the Roosters' first use with it. And Spencer Leniu, of course, taking the first hit up. Let's see how much feeling is left in this contest. Or if it starts to tone itself down a little bit. Butcher carries it out to the 20. Big defense here from the Dolphins. They've obviously had a talking to. Just outside the 20 on play 4. Here's White in midfield. Taken down on the 30. Aggressive opening set defensively here from the Dolphins. Just what they needed. Zavala from well inside the 40 puts it down the middle. And Asako has an easy take at the back. Winds up. Or it was not Robert Toya, sorry. Naufahu for the Dolphins. Into midfield. The hammer shuffles it onto Asako. Asako picked up and dumped. Down the short side and up to halfway go the Dolphins on play 3. Inside ball. Francis Molo with a good strong carry. Tackle 4. 40 metres out from the line. They've got to strike first, the Dolphins. Katoa, nice inside ball. Almost opens them up. Ray Stone plays it. Fifth and last. Katoa down the short side. Puts the kick in. Over the top, Tedesco runs forward and takes it. Great catch from Teddy. Roosters back in possession, rather. First meeting says Tigers will beat Manly next week. Broncos will what? Zot the Dollies. Dollies are gone. Top 8 will shock everyone. Sharkies will struggle to win again this year. The 8 ain't set yet. It's open. Who wants it more? Captain's challenge here by the Dolphins. The call was penalty to the Roosters for an illegal strip. Joshua Stewart says if anyone can score 30 points and a half, it's the Dolphins. There we go. That's the positivity that they need to come out with here in the second half. They need to believe just as much as anybody else. So this was a penalty to the Roosters for an illegal strip. There is a hand on the ball, but no clear strip. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty clear stripping motion. Supporting the live decision. So they will retain their challenge. The Dolphins. Captain's challenge retained. But they don't get the call. Go their way, ultimately. Roosters bang this one into touch. What a kick that is. Up over halfway. They'll start the set about 40 out from the Dolphins line. Fantastic result there for the Roosters. Walker. Inside ball for Butcher. Egan Butcher, that is. Steps off the right boot. Taken down. 6 line breaks to 1 in favour of the Roosters. I mean, that sums up the scoreline, really. Oh, big contact from Molo on White. And White doesn't even get rocked. Short side for Walker. Onto Zavala. Toya gets away from one. Can't get the arms free as he carries it inside the 10. No one need to say into dummy half. Walker grubbers in behind the line for Tedesco. Tedesco plants it down. The Roosters score first in the second half. Disaster for the Dolphins. They're going to have 50 put on them. They will surely have 50 put on them. It's 40 points to 6 with the kick to come from right in front. Tedesco gets a try. It is one-way traffic. The Dolphins needed to be the first team to score in the second half, and they have failed their mission. These are the moments, though, where we'll find out what the Dolphins are made of. Do they just fall over here? Even worse, do they fall over even worse and leak about 60 or 70 points? Or do they mount some sort of fight back, some sort of desire? Wow. Hey, has anyone in the chat room got an update on the weather for the Bulldogs-Warriors game? The Warriors are still rank outsiders, $3.09. As Sam Walker pops this one over from in front, 42 points to 6. Honestly, at $3.09, with any hint of rain whatsoever, you'd be tempted surely to throw down there on the Warriors. I mean, we have seen the Bulldogs absolutely stink in the wet. I'm sure that they've been practicing. But still, in terms of value for return, $3.09, a good odds for the Warriors. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Roosters 42 points to 6. Did not see this coming. Tedesco on halfway. Feeds it off to Savala. Savala carries it inside the Dolphins half. Fifth and last here. Short side for Walker. Sammy Walker puts it up. The hammer plants himself under it. Tedesco racing through. Gets the timing. Absolutely perfect. And the hammer is taken down on the 10-meter line. Hasn't been given any space to run tonight, the hammer. And it doesn't look like the Roosters are going to drop off at any point here. Demi Solsa says Warriors are absolute garbage. Dogs by 20 plus. Warriors not making the 8. Well, the Warriors are making the 8. I don't think there's any plausible way that they can miss the 8 now. Hang on. How many points have they got? How many competition points have they got? I think I said at the start of the year that you're going to need about 32 points. 32 points to be safe. As Nwanga Tuase breaks away, beats 2 tackles and carries it up to halfway. Oh, okay, so the Warriors have only got 30 points. Yeah, they're not safe just yet. They're not home and hosed just yet, but they would pretty much have to lose every single game for the rest of the year. DJ Shack, it's raining and the surface is wet underfoot. Ooh. Tedesco with a short ball to Butcher. Lurks up in support. Tedesco for a double. Tedesco opens them up. 46 points to 6. The kick to come. The Dolphins have completely fallen apart. This is incredible. The Dolphins have done the exact opposite of what they needed to do. $50 is looking very likely. 60 is looking very likely. Manuel Snow, ahoy, mates. Dolphins are pretenders, not contenders. Says Manuel. They've certainly been found out tonight against a very, very willing Roosters team. Sam Walker with another conversion. It's 48 points to 6. It's raining in the next game. That really changes things. Oh, boy. I just wonder how much training have the Bulldogs been putting into wet weather football? We know that it's an actual weakness. It is a legitimate weakness of theirs. That's going to be interesting. Dolphins get us back underway. They send the kickoff deep for Savala, and Savala hands it off. Ball the hit up is Feuiaki, who's taken down inside the 20 for the Roosters. Dominating this game, the Roosters. 48 points to 6. 10 minutes gone in the second half. White goes out the back here for Feuiaki. Feuiaki throws a forward pass to Radley. Needed to hold on to that. Well, here's a chance for the Dolphins to get some points for us. Can they get some points? Nikorima, the hammer, somebody. Let's get this same game multi across. Ten minutes gone in the second half. Dolphins got some pride to play for. Here's Katoa to Nikorima. Holds the pass up nice for the hammer. Hammer puts a big fend on Robert Toya. But he's taken down by Savala. 20 out from the line. Back into midfield they go. Lemuelu is rocked back in a two-man tackle. The Roosters not prepared to give an inch. Katoa. Kerr, 20 metres out. Quick play the ball. Back into midfield for Katoa. Stone running on the inside. Takes it inside the 10 on play 4. Dolphins go right. Katoa thinks about switching direction and just confused himself there. Katoa, fifth and last. Nikorima's over on the left. They're up quickly on him. The grubber kick in behind is plucked out of the air by the Roosters. And they have it on their own 10. Hugo Savala got those big mitts around the ball and held on. Well, they can't win a trick here, the Dolphins. Savala. What a take. He'll be playing cricket soon. With hands like that. 48 points to 6. I really did think we were in for a close game. Not to be, though. One-way traffic. White carries it up to halfway. Takes 3 Dolphins just to stall him. Now he goes to ground on halfway, fifth and last. Savala's down the short side. Puts it high. Hammer tracking back. Takes it on the fall. Was he in the goal? No, he wasn't in goal. Brings it back to the field of play, and he's tackled a metre out from his own try line. At 48 points to 6, the Roosters still playing like it's 6-all. Keeping the Dolphins pinned down. I mean, this is the sort of ruthless aggression. Just to bring it back to wrestling talk again. The sort of ruthless aggression that you like to see as a coach. You've got the foot on the throat, keep it there. Katoa, cut out pass, creates some space out wide here on the left edge. Toya's taken down, or chases through rather. Here's the kick, high ball down the middle. Tedesco claims it. Tedesco from a standing starts. Brings it outside the 30 for the Roosters. Naufahu in midfield. Brings it to the 40. The storyline now is, can the Roosters crack 50? And not just 50. Where do they go from there? How much further beyond the 50 can they get? Watson scurries off down the short side. Taken high there by Katoa. No call. Grappy pass there to Walker. Walker just tosses it up for White and says, we'll have a settler and try that again, please. Fifth and last, Savala gets the kick away. And the Dolphins now return it to the 20. 26 and a half remaining. Some of the sting has understandably gone out of the Roosters' attack. A little bit. When you're up 48 points to 6, it would be very hard to just keep piling it on. So it is a little understandable. Manuel Snow says, Warriors got this, I'm sure, 100%. You know what, honestly, if it's raining, as has been stated in the chat room, it really does even things up. Fifth and last, Dolphins put it high. Hammer chases through and wraps up Tupou. Tedesco from dummy half. Collins coming back on for another stint here with 25 and a half to go. Savala in midfield. On to Naufahu. Brings it outside the 30. And there is Collins with his first hit up. Fifth and last now for the Roosters on halfway. Look for Savala to put a big kick in. Taken by the Hammer on the full, and Hammer will wind up. No, he throws it across. And Jermaine Asako will have the kick return. Hammer just not getting any space tonight. Maybe there's a consolation try for the Hammer. Tiring defenders, try and get him into some open space. Penalty now to the Dolphins, high contact. And they'll finally get some decent field position. What can they do here? The Dolphins now playing for pride. That's all that's really on the line. Finding touch just outside the 40. Nikorima goes infield for Katoa. And they march up towards halfway now, the Dolphins. Nikorima. The no-look pass there to Lemuelu. 40 metres out from the Roosters' line. Wow, 29 missed tackles from the Dolphins. Pass goes out the back to nobody. Hammer has to scurry back. Ducks under the first tackle. Gets the arms free, but had no support. They've lost yardage here, the Dolphins. This has been abysmal. Katoa pops the pass up. Play 4, 30 metres out. A disappointing showing, really. Nikorima bobbles the ball, throws it to nobody, and it sits up for Naufahu. Nawanga on the edge. Semi Salsa says Dogs 30 plus. They're going to blow these Warriors out. I've got to believe that surely the Bulldogs have been practicing some wet weather footy. They know that it's a weakness. If rain was even hinted at being on the radar, surely they've practiced wet weather footy. Tedesco, flick pass out the back for Collins. Collins now winds up, bumps off the first tackle. Asako comes back at him, and Katoa brings him to ground 30 metres out. Walker to Savala, lined up to the right here. Tedesco looks to grub her in behind, but it sits up for Avarillo and the Dolphins back in possession. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, how teams, there's so much time left in this game, and the Roosters have been scoring tries at will, almost. And they're on the very brink of 50, but I just can't seem to crack it. It's amazing how it happens, isn't it? Teams get to the very edge of the 50 points and just... Nikarima steps in field, almost breaks through. That would have been great for my multi. Down the left edge for Katoa. Flat pass to Lemuelu, who backs up, gets the offload to the Hammer, who spills it. And Nawanga comes away with it for the Roosters. Sums up the night for the Dolphins. Another dropped ball. Another mistake. So 48 points to 6. The Roosters leading with 20 minutes left to play. Bulldogs and Warriors coming up after this one. Can the Dolphins get some consolation points? Ideally through my try scorers. That'd be nice. 30 metres out from the line now, Roosters. Left edge they go. Smith gets on the outside. Can't get the flick pass away for Tupou. Tupou seemingly frustrated tonight. He hasn't seen a lot of the ball. Savala with the crossfield kick. Nawanga takes it, gets away from the defence, and scores another. A hat-trick for Nawanga, and there's 50 for the Roosters. The 50 is up. This has been incredible. John Michael, ahoy, mate. Try confirmed. Hat-trick, Nawanga. 52 points to 6, the kick to come. I'm also going to post a link in the YouTube chat for those interested. Later tonight, I will be relaunching my other YouTube channel, which is dedicated to gaming. So if you would like to keep hanging out after the footy, do feel free to check that one out. Intoxi Gamer, back tonight, officially. I am Neptune, 57. Who you got for the next game? This game is cooked. Hammer will score. Gamer Mel, ahoy! As Walker converts, 54 points to 6. Okay, so wet weather conditions seems to be confirmed for the next game. Which does change pretty much everything. It might even change my tip. I think I'm going to stick with the Bulldogs. I just feel like surely if the Bulldogs are going to be any sort of premiership threat, they need to adapt, and they need to show that they're able to adapt. Surely, if there was even a hint of rain, as the Dolphins pluck this kickoff away, and they go on the attack 40 meters out. Consolation points incoming, is it? $10 meters out from the line. Give it to the Hammer. Or Nikorima. I'll take either one at this point. 5 meters out from the line. Good strong carry there from Nichols. Set restart here for the Dolphins. Surely points are incoming. Donahue to Katoa. Shows it inside. Then dummies on the outside. And he's taken down 5 meters out from the line on play one. Nikorima at dummy half. Out to Donahue in midfield. Donahue never did recover his headgear when he had it ripped off by Victor Radley. Marshall King on to Nichols. Gets the offload away. Batted back by Savala, and the Roosters have it. They can't even get consolation points, the Dolphins. They're an absolute rabble. "17 minutes to play, 54 points to 6. Roosters dominating. Okay, so given the wet weather conditions, I'm going to go Jacob Preston, anytime try. I mean, let's basically look at some of the forwards, essentially, is what I'm looking at. So Jacob Preston, I reckon, for the Bulldogs, anytime try. Halasima. I love loading up on Halasima in my multis. Both teams will still look to throw it around despite the conditions. We know that for a fact. I'm just wondering if I stay kind of forward-oriented in this one. So we've got Preston, we've got Halasima. As now the Dolphins launch another attack. Naufahu goes back in field for Nikorima. Nikorima to Katoa. They've got a 3-on-1 to the right here. No, the Roosters number up and shut this play down. Dolphins are now heading backwards. Intercept by the Roosters. It sums up the night once again for the Dolphins. Everything that could possibly go against them has gone against them in terms of intercepts and balls being plucked out of the air. They've been their own worst enemy, though, of course. Oh, I wonder if it's a Viliami kick-out night. Bronson Sherry brings me a lot of joy normally in multis. Might be a good night for combos, actually. It could be a very good night for some combos. Let's suss out the player combo market. A or B to score a try. What options are they giving us? Scroll all the way down to the best paying ones. And the Roosters have knocked the ball on. 5th and last, 30 out from the Dolphins line. And they knock the ball on. Okay. So I've already got Halasima. I've already got Preston Straight. Bronson Sherry, Adam Pompey, $1.91. Two of us a shake. I've already got Preston. I've already got Sherry. Tuivasa-Sheck and Kiraz. Tuivasa-Sheck, Wateni Zelezniak, $1.40. I reckon it could be a good night for combos. That's the way I'm thinking. Well, let's go Wateni Zelezniak and Tuala. And we will go. I wish they gave us more options with these combos, but then they don't want to just give money away, do they? I've already got my forwards covered. Couple of second rowers in there. Bronson Sherry, Adam Pompey. I don't really want Adam Pompey, though, but at least it's covering off some ground. Whoops. Covering off a little bit of ground, though, I suppose. So, better than nothing. All right. I can't get bet return on that one, so I'll power play it. There we go. So, Palasima, Preston, Wateni Zelezniak, or Tuala, Sherry or Pompey. As Hugo Savala spots half a gap, he's got Tedesco in support. Teddy kicks in field for Walker. It sets up for Sam Walker, who's now got acres of space to work with. Fires the Harbour Bridge ball over to Tupou, and Daniel Tupou scores. With 12 and a half left to play, the Roosters have got another one. 58 points to 6 with the kick to come. Incredible scenes here at Suncorp. Sam Walker will have a conversion attempt to make it 60. Sam Walker, he just seemed to have an eternity to make his mind up there on that play. And Tupou, who's been a little frustrated tonight, finally has the line wide open. And there's still 11 and a half minutes left to go. Stephen Peake, Kahoy mate. Is this a practice game for the Roosters? It's certainly turned into one. I'll tell you what it was. It was a litmus test for the Roosters. Just how badly do they want the top 8? And they have delivered. Sam Walker from out wide to make it 60 points. Still no smiles there from Brent Robinson. Greg Toyo, ahoy mate. Greg Toya says, come on, Rooster. Let's see, Sam Walker lining this one up for 60 points. Taking his time with this one. The worst defeat in Dolphins history. DJ Shack has done some research for us there. Walker from the sideline moves in, strikes it well. It's right down the middle, and the Roosters have got 60. 10 minutes to play. 60 points to 6. Yeah, Game of Mel, I decided that I would sit out the first game tonight because I will be doing an Intoxigamer stream after the footy tonight. The big return of my gaming channel. So I decided it just wouldn't be possible to do all 3 games of footy and then Intoxigamer. I needed to have one off. Dolphins go short with the restart. And it's taken by Naufahu. Connor Watson now in midfield. Can they get more points here, the Roosters? Or can the Dolphins get a couple of consolation tries? Which would be nice for me. Walker goes out the back for Savala. Short ball there to Butcher. And it's well read by the Dolphins defense. Better late than never. 2 tackles left. Watson shows it inside for Collins. Goes out for Walker, who is just full of confidence in this game. 5th and last. Savala calling for it. Gets it. Puts the crossfield kick in. Naufahu takes it. And then he's wrapped up. They get the arms around him. Hold on to the ball. And that will be a handover. Harpfit says Dolphins' first ever win and worst ever loss, both against the Roosters. There you go. How's that for a little bit of trivia as the Dolphins shift down the short side? Donahue into dummy half. Here's Katoa. Runs it to halfway. Or floats to Kerr. Kerr keeps it alive back for Katoa. Molo has it now in midfield. Backs into the defense. And with 9 minutes remaining, can they show something here, the Dolphins? Katoa to Nikorima. A loose pass goes out the back and having to surrender in the tackle. Katoa on the 5th and last puts this one high. Hammer chasing through to put pressure on Tedesco. And it's batted back by the Hammer. Tedesco scoops it up. Play on this is. Roosters back in possession. They seem pretty determined to not give up any more points as Tupou almost gets through. Brings it to the 40. They absolutely want more points here. The Roosters. They went through a little period there where they dropped off. They're definitely well and truly into things now. And down the left edge goes Tupou. 1 to beat. Gets the arms free. Offloads back for Smith. Smith tackled just a metre short. Watson down the short side. Tedesco fires it out for Tupou. And Tupou gets another 64-6 kick to come. This is a massacre. Sam Walker is having a potentially career-defining game. He's really loving life out there at the moment. Will we look back on this game 5 or 6 years down the line? Will we look back on this game as the breakout of Sam Walker? DJ Shaq, I applaud that reference. Sir. This is a slaughtering of Dolphins that would put South Park to shame. I still love that episode when they showed up at the NFL game. The what is it? The Miami Dolphins? Is that the name of the NFL team? No, that might be the baseball team. But either way, when the Hunters showed up at the NFL game. Fabulous show. Fabulous. 64 points to 6. The kick to come. Oh, it is the Miami Dolphins. Thank you, Neptune. I thought so. Sam Walker about 10 in from touch. The favoured side for a right-footed kicker. Lines it up to give us... Well, we'll wait and see. Walker hooks it to the left. It hits the upright and bounces away. So it stays 64 points to 6. 6.5 minutes remaining. Well, time's running out for consolation points here for the Dolphins. I just need one of them. One of them to get my cash back. Bulldogs Warriors coming up. And then, of course, for those interested, after the footy tonight, Intoxigamer on YouTube, my gaming channel, will return. So if you'd like to keep hanging out after the footy tonight, do feel free to do so. I've posted the link in the YouTube chat for that one. 64-6. Can the Roosters hit 70? Collins up the middle. Standing in the two-man tackle, still with post-contact meters. Takes it all the way up to the 40. White to halfway on play 4. Tedesco at first receiver. Goes out the back for Walker. Cut out pass for Smith. Smith can't get the arms free. 5th and last. Walker puts the bomb up. Hammer comes forward for it. Takes it and retreats immediately. Gives it to Asako in midfield, I believe. No, he might have gone the other side. It's Naufahu. Nikarima scurries out of dummy half. 5 minutes left to play. Oh, and now the Dolphins players get in each other's way. Every time I think I've seen something that sums up the Dolphins' night, they go and do something else. Asako and Francis Molo bumping into each other. The ball goes loose out the back. They do collect it again. They recover it. But boy, every time I see something worse happen. 2-meter gain off that set of 6. A big kick here. It's a monstrous kick that goes into touch just inside the Roosters' 30. They just keep making more and more brutal mistakes. From inside the 20, Katoa gets a result for the Dolphins out of nowhere. They had made 2 meters off that set of 6. And they end up with the ball 30 meters out from the Roosters' line. A 20-40. We do, of course, have 40-20s. For those who didn't know, you now know the opposite can happen as well. A 20-40 there by Isaiah Katoa. And boy, do they need that. A 2-meter gain off that set. And now the offload from Kerr. Straight to Tedesco. And the counter-attack's on. Toya's in space. Draws in and passes to Naufahu. Flicks it back in field. And it sits up. Now touched by the Dolphins. But the pass is called forward. Forward pass from Naufahu there down the right edge. Three and a half minutes remaining, and the Dolphins, well, they'll just have to go back and sum up tonight and just wonder where they went wrong in life, basically. Where did it all go so horribly, horribly wrong for the Dolphins? Scrum down, 40 out from their own line. Can they get some consolation points? You've got to be honest and say it is not looking likely at all. Katoa heads across field. Taken to ground on halfway. Katoa, short side for Nichols. Inside ball, Avarillo. Heading backwards, gets the offload away for Donahue. Back in field for Katoa. Hands it off for Molo. Molo taking the ground just inside the Roosters' half. 2 minutes left to play, and this misery can end for the Dolphins. The hammer out the back there. 6 again. And the ball's ripped away. A penalty to the Dolphins. And there's going to be a captain's challenge. Is there? No. Play on. I thought Sam Walker was thinking about challenging. Dolphins tap and go. 30 outs. Can they get something out of this game? Some sort of positive here, right at the death. Katoa to Nikorima. Hammer up in the line. Gives the ball on now for Naufahu. Dives for the corner. And Tevita Naufahu scores in the corner. They get their consolation try, but it's not anybody I needed. 64-10 with the kick to come from the sideline. Osako converts from out wide. 64 points to 12. Well, there's still a minute to go. They could get another one, perhaps. Jim Condon says, since when did we get a Saturday night game on 9? Wait, what? It's on Channel 9? Still a minute to go in this one. Oh, wow. Since when do we get a Saturday game on Channel 9? Game ML says, I think because it's close to finals. Oh, well, that's pretty cool. 45 seconds to go in this one. 9 has the rights to Saturday night games exclusively in the last 5 or 6 home and away rounds. Oh, is that right? I did not know that. That's cool. Yeah, that is cool. I actually prefer having the game on Channel 9 because I get better coverage. For me personally, it works better than KO. I think everybody universally hates KO. So having the games on 9, yeah, very, very cool. I didn't realize that. That's fantastic. So exclusively, so it wouldn't have even been on KO at all. I would have been standing here like a goof waiting for the game to bloody start. That would have been rather funny. That would have been quite funny. Oh, no, it looks like it is on KO as well. Full time here, though. 64 points to 12. The Roosters. Absolute domination of the Dolphins. Bulldogs, Warriors coming up. I'm going to flick over to Channel 9 since I know that's a thing now. And we will be right back. New stream incoming. Warriors versus the Bulldogs. Big game here in the context of the finals.